talks are underway. But give us the broader parameters, how Saudi Arabia is going to benefit from this particular peace talks, which it is hosting.
Ukraine has to surrender. That's a given story. They will show a little bit of muscles to show that we are not a dead nation. But trust me, they have no other option.
Conditions are very tough on both sides.
The condition doesn't matter, sir. It's going to, this issue, who's going to get what, it's going to be linger on for years and years. Tell me how many international conflict zones get what they wanted to have it.
And if there is an agreement on Ukraine, what do you think the next priority for Trump would be? Iranian nuclear deal?
Yes, Iran is going to engage USA with every kind of a conversation to give them a feel-good factor that, okay, eventually we are going to sign your documents. But they will never.
Israel is determined to throw people from Gaza at any cost.
Israel will do whatever he wants to do. That's please, we have to be very clear about it.
Okay.
Ultimately, sir, it is the war of Palestine.
It is?
The war of Palestinian and Palestine.
Okay.
Nobody can help them. They have to rise within themselves.
How Abraham Accord could be revived?
Abraham Accord was actually lost into translation. That's my personal opinion. Israel is responsible for the failure or the backlash of the Abraham Accord because they didn't play it well. Right now, Abraham's Accord is literally
almost close.
It's on a coma. For Trump, it's a trump card to use it in the Middle East.
Safe havens of the terrorists on Afghan soil. The Americans are determined to get back the leftover weapons.
Getting Afghanistan or Afghanis on their side is completely Pakistan's business. And only Pakistan can fix it. Americans cannot fix it.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and welcome to Program Insight in V News English. Dear viewers, Saudi Arabia is currently hosting Ukrainians and Americans on a possible peace deal between Ukraine and Russia. So when we say peace deal, that is an early end to the Ukrainian war. So what prompted Saudi Arabia to host Ukrainians and Americans? And Saudi Arabia earlier have hosted Russian and Americans as well. So what is in the interest of Saudi Arabia to host Ukrainian president and also the American Secretary of State on Ukrainian war? What interest Saudi Arabia has particularly in an early end to the Ukrainian war? And we will also try to explore whether there will be any just and equitable solution to this Ukrainian war, any deal, anything that comes out, whether it will be acceptable to Ukrainians or to the Russians at a time when both are holding their positions very, very strict on their conditions. To discuss this all, today we are fortunate to have with us Senior International Affairs Analyst Amna Khaishgi, who is based in Middle East, particularly in Dubai, and have deep interest in international relations in Middle East and have been delivering lectures in top Pakistani universities, at international think tanks, at Pakistani think tanks. A very warm welcome to Program Insight in V News English, Amna Khaishgi. So we would like to begin from this, that Saudi Arabia is in the spotlight, right? Usually Western powers used to host peace dialogue, or they used to host dialogue on an early end to any conflict. So what prompted Saudi Arabia to invite the American Secretary of State and Ukrainian president? So currently talks are underway, but give us the broader parameters, how Saudi Arabia is going to benefit from this particular peace talks, which it is hosting.
Thank you so much, Mateen Saab. It has been an honor to come and sit with you and share some of my humble observations while living in the Middle East for almost about 2 decades now, more than 2 decades. The whole journey of the Kingdom of Arabia, Saudi Arab, from a very, yet it's a huge country with a huge population and a very rich country.
True.
But not every rich countries are also powerful countries. So with the new generation of Al Saud, Saudi Arab, what is happening in Saudi Arab basically is the story of Al Saud tribe, the ruling family over there. The new generation, the new turning point, and the way they have realized the potential of the region, and thanks to Israel and all the love for the Gaza and everything in the Middle East.
Thanks to Israel.
Yeah, because if Israel would not be a kind of a it's a person, the entity who's shaking the power over there.
Exactly.
So, why should the Arab tribes would have been bothered to change any equilibrium? So, because Israel has very disruptive in their nature, disruptive, definitely not in a positive sense, in a very negative sense. The countries who are directly, indirectly affected with their, a kind of a very clever or long-term intentions of aggressive intentions in the region, they've realized they have to come forward.
True.
And play their role. Otherwise, they are going to put all the sixers on the land. It was, if I take you a little bit, the love between Saudi Arab and the Trump regime is not the new one.
It's not the new one.
Yeah, so if you remember, in the previous regime, the son-in-law of the Trump, the President Trump, was very close to MBS, His Highness Mohammed bin Suleiman. And they enjoyed a very close and business relationship over there. And you would see a great deal even within the new project as well. So that relationship was, and if you remember a little bit, during the last Trump regime, the major shake-up that actually happened in the Middle East, or the GCC, was the Abraham Accord.
Exactly.
But at that time, the hero of the whole story was the United Arab Emirates. This time, the Saudi Arab wanted
because it established ties with Israel, and also invited Israelis to get Emirati citizenship.
The first Emirati, the first a kind of a peace initiative that comes from the Gulf region, which has used to have a very zero tolerance towards Israeli, happened in the United Arab Emirates. And that was the first political stroke that the GCC Gulf countries had played. And don't forget, we have another interesting player in the GCC market is Qatar. And Qatar has been playing a very crucial role while it comes to the Afghan issues and Taliban negotiation.
Even on Gaza, it has hosted many rounds of talks.
Exactly, but Taliban is their kind of there's more USP at the selling and the marketing point. And now this is the time of the mighty Saudi Arab to come forward. Saudi Arab has always been a kind of a. If you take it's a very interesting relation between the Saudi Arab and the United States of America. They love each other and they hate each other. That kind of it's a beautiful.
They hate each other and they love each other.
So they cannot ignore each other. Let me rephrase it in that sense. United States needs Saudi Arab blessings to manage the interest of their best friend in the region, which is Israel. And Saudi Arab has been extremely, extremely stubborn, very clear that they're not going to accept Israel if so and so is not happening in the region. So, but Saudi Arabia is now very committed to their economic development. They want to have a power role, perhaps more stronger than India in the coming future, in the coming days. And being the custodian of the Holy Mosque and both Khane Kaaba, the relevance, the relevance of Saudi Arabia has always been extremely, extremely important within the Muslim population. Muslim population includes the Muslim countries and the Muslim people living in the Western countries. So, and the MBS is I think he has completely changed the political dynamics, even the statesmanship of the region very smartly. And he realized the potential that his country has to play a role to get the right pie from the global politics. My understanding, my humble understanding, Ukraine is the easiest thing to, what we call it in the entrepreneur startup language, it's the easiest thing to proof of concept. we know that nothing would like it's a given story. Ukraine has to surrender. That's a given story. They will show a little bit their muscles to show that we are not a dead nation, but trust me, they have no other option.
They have no other option.
They have no other option.
This
They
is
will
what exactly
eventually-
Trump has said. You don't have cards.
Yeah, exactly, and he's right. Whether we love him or hate him, but he's criminally honest whenever
True.
whatever he says that. But Ukraine, what they have it, the crisis, the financial crisis, the social crisis, even the fatigue of the leadership of the Ukrainian leader is very obvious. The way they are negotiating with the world politics and the way they are dealing with the whole crisis, it looks like there's a major fatigue that's happening in the Ukraine. And Russian Putin is the mighty
Very
of all
smart.
the,
Exactly.
he's a chess master. You need to have that kind of a patience, you need to have that kind of a strength, and you need to have your own internal strength. You cannot win the fight with the support of your neighbors and with the support of the charity money.
True.
So there is a major fatigue within the Ukraine, and they have realized they don't want to be another Iraq and Libya.
My immediate question is, do you think that Ukraine will surrender on the territories which have been occupied by Russia? And the Russia says the peace deal will be without giving any membership of NATO to Ukraine. On the other hand, Ukraine insists that it will get the NATO membership at any cost. And it will ensure that its occupied territories are given back to Ukraine. So conditions are very tough on both sides.
No, the condition doesn't matter, sir. It's going to this issue. Who's going to get what? It's going to be linger on for years and years and years. So, but these are minor details. Tell me how many international conflict zones get what they wanted to have it.
They ultimately surrender.
Ultimately, they surrender, or they will surrender very quietly. Today, maybe they are in the top 3 headlines on the global media. But trust me, after a few weeks, nobody is going to bother about what the Ukrainian got in this deal, and that's where the Putin and the Russia will get their pie. And US need Russia, and US need Ukrainian resources. And they have no other.
Ukraine has refused to give.
Yeah, but that's refused on the official level. That's a popular thing. Who tell me which leader is going to be say yes publicly to surrender all the natural resources to another country which is not very friendly to them?
And secretly they might give.
They'll do it. They'll do it. They have no other option, sir. Unfortunately, they're the reality of the global politics. We could discuss, but do you think the Ukrainian president is a very strong leadership?
Not
No.
at all.
Does he have a do you think he was going to sacrifice his presidency for the right of the Ukrainian? I don't think so. So if he's going to say, or if he's going to say a lot of things, as the Americans say, the regime change is inevitable. They're going to change the president. Anything can happen. So we should not
The next regime may accept all
they say,
terms and
yes,
conditions.
boss, what do you want?
Oh my God.
You need mountains or you need waters? Please tell us. So I think we should not over-glorify or over-romanticize. The interesting part is how Saudi Arabia has opened their gates.
Yes,
Riyadh
this
has
is
opened
important.
this is important.
Global diplomacy. Exactly.
So Riyadh is not interested what Ukraine is going to get it or Russia is going to get it. Riyadh is interested that the Riyadh address should become an important address whenever there is a global conflict, and they use their resources or their power of influence to put all the conflicting parties on the table in the address of Riyadh. That's very important for them. That's something that's going to change the dynamics. If you remember, China was the major player when Saudi Arab-Iran relation got a major breakthrough.
This was what I was going to ask,
Yes.
that the Beijing played an historic role in bringing Saudi and Iran. And if there is an agreement on Ukraine, what do you think the next priority for Trump would be? Iranian nuclear deal?
Iranians, I love the Iranian diplomatic expertise. They know how to linger on the issue. They don't believe in aggressive diplomacy.
True.
they play with the time. That's if you see
They play with the time.
They play with the time. They keep you work in progress kind of a motto. Okay, we are thinking about it. We are not saying no, but we are not saying yes. That kind of a strategy they're going to happen. Yes, Iran is going to engage USA with every kind of a conversation to give them a feel-good factor that okay, eventually we are going to sign your documents, but they will never. They are buying time so they can have a space to do whatever they want to do. This has been a long-term Iranian policy in all kind of regimes. They're very smart to understand that give a time to. They never say no. Don't create more enemies. We are already in a bad shape.
Exactly.
So. Will Saudi Arab is going to play a role? No, but Saudi Arab is not. I don't think is going to.
Will be taking deep interest indeed. He will. No role.
Saudi Arab will not come against Iran. That's for sure. That's not in their interest. See, they already have a lot of problems. The Syrian regime is there. It's a trouble thing, right?
It's a trouble thing for Iran.
Even for Saudi Arab.
Exactly.
See, the zone is
new change in Syria. Exactly.
See, it's not about the conflict is not about the piece of land. It's about the people.
Exactly.
The Syrian younger generation who are coming from the war zone, the kind of extremists or the frustrated younger generation, when they're going to cross the border, they are going to infiltrate in every place. And Saudi Arabia is a huge place.
True.
And Saudi Arabia has the Shiite population as well. At the kind of MBS wants, they don't want any internal kind of a problem.
Any conflict or any internal instability.
So, exactly. So they are not just for the sake of making happy their Western friends. They are not going to make more enemies within the region.
Within the Saudi Arabia
Exactly.
region.
So they are. Saudi Arab would be there, perhaps sitting on the same table with them. But are they're going to attack Iran or they're going to show their eyes to Iran? I don't think so. That's I don't think Saudi Arab has a very, very specific focus, which is economy and investment and business
Bringing
and business.
Tourism, changing the
Exactly.
landscape.
The face of the Saudi Arab.
Is changing now.
True. Now they are opening doors and they cannot afford to come unnecessary talks. They will open their. It's more like like if you go to any conference hall, please rent. You can rent my conference hall, do your discussion and move on. True. Don't put all your dirty eggs in my room. I'm not going to entertain them.
Exactly. Latest development is that the Muslim World, the Arab League, and Organization of Islamic Conference, they all have rejected this Israeli-American plan of relocation of Palestinians from Gaza. And in a recent meeting, it was concluded in OIC that the Muslim world will take care of reconstruction of Gaza, and even Egypt is not going to accept any relocation of Palestinians from Gaza to any other place, including Egypt. So on this particular issue, the Muslim world has taken a firm position. So on the other hand, Israel says that relocation is taking shape. So this means Israel is determined to throw people from Gaza at any cost, which is why it has blocked electricity and stopped water. Your thoughts?
Israel will do whatever he wants to do. That's please, we have to be very clear about it. And the countries and the regime around Gaza, who are directly and indirectly affected with the Palestinians or the war next to their door, are worried because they don't want those.
Who are worried?
These are the countries who are next to the Gaza, neighboring countries of the Gaza. Be it Egypt, be it Jordan, and be it the few borders of Saudi Arab, any other places. They don't want the war-inflicted Palestinian youth to come and settle down in their land. It's a lot of liability, sir. It's not. We have suffered with Afghan young people.
Still suffering.
Yeah, so they don't want. And I've been living in the GCC. Trust me, Palestinians are a very difficult nation. You cannot work with them.
More tough than Afghanians?
And sometimes yes, and it's not easy to deal with them. Trust me, it's not easy to be there. And you cannot blame them for that because they have been coming into some circumstances. True. War changed everything. It's what I feel like all the Arab regimes, they are going to engage Israel in a sense that they should not get the spillover of the Palestinians.
True.
Not for the love of Palestine, nothing. So they just want to have
For
their
their
borders.
protection, exactly.
Yeah, they want to their borders sorted, so nothing should spill over on their part of the land. Yet Israel should not create such a crisis over there that they have to leave. See, if a person in crisis, if your house in a fire, you have to leave your house.
If there is no water, if there is
Exactly.
no electricity,
So
nothing to eat,
they will crawl and they
starvation.
cross the land. They will crawl and cross the land. But that exactly the neighboring country does not want. So to stop that, they are going to engage Israel in different shape and form. They just please behave yourself. Don't do that much. It's going to, if you're going to do that, okay, the kind of leverage we are thinking of to give you and we are planning to give you, we are not going to give you. It's going to be more like a carrot and stick game. But trust me, in the last so many years, more than half of the century, nothing has happened to Israel, the Palestinian issue. Nothing is going to happen over there. Once it's so sad, but once any region, when there's more than 2 generations affected with the war, it's very unlikely they're going to come out over there.
So finally, what do you foresee, keeping in view your rich experience in the Middle East? Ultimately, what will be the future of Gaza? As you said, that neighboring countries don't want any spillover effect. They don't want to be destabilized. They don't want to be to see this major Palestinian population relocating to their territory. But American and Israelis are determined that Gaza is to be occupied at any cost.
So whatever they're dependent, they're going to depend on that. So that the equation, who is going to get what piece of land, it's become irrelevant. Eventually, what America wants or Israel wants is going to happen over there.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen over there. But to make the Palestinian a little bit in a peace, a lot of charity or a lot of development grants would definitely move over there. That kind of a bargain will surely happen.
Okay.
Because they don't want them to become so frustrated. They are already very frustrated. They just should start crossing the borders. And because a child who has seen a lot of fire, blood across in his neighborhood, inside his house, it's coming up with a very difficult mindset.
True.
And once it's crawl out across the border, the whole different generation is going to come in and they're going to pollute the system. And the peaceful GCC idea, it's going to be hurt by having such kind of a, the mixture of the new population over there. That's not in the interest of the GCC equilibrium, and they will not entertain it. And that's why they want to keep Israel at least in a check, that at least give them a breathing space to survive. You want to keep them in a certain way. I don't want to use, I would just want to be politically correct. Let's just keep them.
Okay.
Ultimately, sir, it is the war of Palestine.
It is?
The war of Palestinian and Palestine.
Okay.
Nobody can help them. They have to rise within themselves. And they have to be, my personal experience while living over there, there's a major dearth of leadership within the Palestinian.
True.
They have to come and they have to struggle and they have come up. Every solution is not coming with the war versus war, gunfire versus gunfire. They have to be smart enough, clever enough, how to manipulate the Tel Aviv or whatever, the Israel.
Whatever is in the
exactly,
interest of Gaza.
And re-establish themselves and become a small country with a lot of resources and everything. But, there's a lot of successful story, Palestinian successful story in Dubai and in USA both. The best IT brains sometimes coming from the Palestinian people.
Best IT.
Yeah, and the best doctors in Dubai are basically Palestinian doctors.
Amazing.
And because but they are rich people. See, they got the right opportunity. They grown up. But if you take as a nation, it's a nation who is very resilient, like Afghanis, like Kashmiris, and whenever they get the opportunity, they can do a lot of great things.
They excel in their field.
They excel in their respective fields, and that's the reality. But unfortunately, those numbers are very very small. So if Palestinians want the real result, the eventual result, The solution has to come within them. No neighboring countries, no neighboring regime, no Western countries can help them.
Solution has to come from
within the
Palestinians.
Palestine. That's the reality, and they have to accept it.
Okay.
Everything is not about crying. We all care about Palestine. We all love it, and we are doing a lot of boycotts. I see in Pakistan, everybody talks a lot. There's a lot of lip servicing over there.
True.
About the Palestine thing. People are wearing T-shirts and everything. But you cannot win the war of so many generations through media, sob stories.
True.
The victimhood could not make you a winner.
True.
You have to have that kind of a smartness, strategy, leadership that would make you stand up on your own feet and become relevant for the Israelis.
Okay. You earlier spoke briefly about Abraham Accord. So Trump is again back to power since 20th of January. And that was his biggest achievement in the previous tenure. You think this accord is going to be revived fully? And keeping in view Saudi Arabia's rigid position on Israel, it has recently condemned Israel for blocking all humanitarian assistance, water and electricity. So when Saudi Arabia may not agree on anything related to Israel, how Abraham Accord could be revived?
See, Abraham Accord started with the great Big Bang. I remember I was at the time in Abu Dhabi, and there was a lot of celebration, and the idea of 3 religions coming under one roof, etc., etc. It was highly, and the whole. If you see a bigger picture, it's a great idea. It's a very great diplomatic.
Hinduism also coming.
Oh, yeah, but no, it's Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. The 3
I was referring because a temple was also.
Oh, that's a different chapter. We'll discuss a different one day about how Hinduism is growing globally, not just in the Middle East. But Abraham Accord was actually lost into translation. That's my personal opinion. With the way, and I feel, and I strongly believe that Israel is responsible for the failure or the backlash of the Abraham Accord because they didn't play it well. They got UAE literally opened all their doors.
Exactly for Israelis.
Yeah, and gave them a lot of space. That,
State of citizenship.
Everything, it's just not. They're giving a lot of space to share their point of view and to create an awareness about the Israeli soft power, not the military side, the soft power, their language, their music. There's so many things. I remember there was a time that literally a plane used to be filled with all kind of journalists, and then he goes to Tel Aviv to meet the president. Was become like such an easy commodity. Everybody was meeting the Israeli prime minister and president, but they were not able to use this opportunity properly.
Okay.
There was a time that UAE has started realizing, okay, now it was a very brave of UAE. I must congratulate the leadership. It was not an easy decision. You are taking a very unpopular decision.
True.
But they took it because they saw a lot of business potential along with the political potential of the thing, and definitely the civilization part of it. But if you remember, 2 or 3 years ago, UAE started publicly saying that, showing their disappointment towards the Israel, that they have actually destroyed the spirit of Abraham Accord.
True.
Right now, Abraham's Accord is literally
almost close.
It's on the coma.
It's in the coma.
It's in the coma.
Oh, beautiful.
And Saudi Arabia was actually with the MBA. I remember there was an interview of MBS in World Economic Forum, and he said acceptance of Israel is not a complete no-no, but it would come with a very huge conditions.
True.
So that kind of a business and the trading part would always being a swapping thing. I think the expulsion of Trump, because Trump is a doer. I think now Trump is back in action.
Yes.
He would he'd throw away all the dust from the Abraham Accord, twist it, refurbish it, and use it again. I think it's a Trump it's a Trump card to use it in the Middle East. And so that because Israel.
It's a trump card which is going to be used in the Middle East.
That's very, and we will see Abraham Accord in different shape and form again, and perhaps it would help the world at large to get into the right picture and to get the peace over there. Should the Palestinians benefit from the Abraham Accord? Of course, they should. That will be a great win of the Middle Eastern regimes.
True.
To use Abraham Accord for their own favor and minimize and corner Israel through Abraham Accord and get their maximum favors over there.
Recently, we have seen Pakistani and Americans coming very close in counter-terrorism cooperation.
Yeah.
When a high-profile Afghan terrorist was nabbed by Pakistani intelligence and was handed over, almost every top American official said, "Thank you, Pakistan. Without your support and cooperation, it was not possible." First from Trump speaking before Congress joint session, then CIA chief, then Secretary of State. So in the coming days, major threat to Pakistan is emanating from Afghanistan. We have also seen that there is a terror attack on a Jafar Express train in Balochistan. Last week, we have seen massive deadly attack on Banu Cantonment. These all linkages have been established, that links are there in Afghanistan. So how do you think that in future, Pakistan has been raising concern, Pakistan has been conveying its concern to the international community that look and handle Afghan Taliban. So how this situation could be overcome, these safe havens of the terrorists on Afghan soil. So, and at the same time, last portion of that Americans are determined to get back the leftover weapons. So will be possible?
See, what I believe and what I strongly believe, relationship of Pakistan with Afghanistan and getting Afghanistan or Afghanis on their side is completely Pakistan's business. And only Pakistan can fix it. Americans cannot fix it.
Pakistan has a long experience in the past.
Because see,
it has been dealing
whatever hatred, whatever the enmity, whatever the conflict, or whatever the reasons are there in Afghanistan, Pakistanis knows much better than the Americans. Americans are going to only exploit the situation, manipulate the situation. It is the Pakistani leadership who has to fix the problem through force or through diplomacy.
You think that Taliban will be responsive to Pakistan? Will they cooperate in this situation?
Why not? Money is everything.
Money is everything.
Trading, money, and
float the money.
The best diplomacy is the money diplomacy. If they
cash diplomacy
is exactly. So what you're bringing to them and what they will get from there and what you can give it to them, it's all about that. And plus, see, again, the relationship, whether how much so-called Afghanis hate us, but they cannot survive without us. That's also a reality.
Pakistani visa, Pakistani wheat, Pakistani cash, Pakistani dollars.
Everything. This is the only country, even if they tried their best to get close to India, they were going, a lot of Afghanis was going over India too for the even medical diplomacy.
Education, healthcare.
But nothing worked out. India.
And even they are doing business in India, Afghanis.
But that's not a huge numbers. You see, if you go to Delhi, you won't see like the way if you go to come to Islamabad.
They are in huge number. Exactly.
Huge numbers. The kind of the way they have established the relationship with Pakistanis. See, despite the fact they hate us, let's take an assumption, they hate us more than anything. Like Indians, Afghanis hate us. Okay, let's say go in with that kind of a hypothesis. But they cannot survive without us. And this is a major important, the major card that we have in our hand. If Afghanis, despite all the displeasure towards Pakistan or Pakistani leadership, they need Pakistan, then Pakistan should know how to twist their arms and make them, they should behave and they should calm themselves and use the land, Afghanis, for their own interests. So this is, for me and personally what I believe, it's the weakness of our diplomacy that we have not been able to manage or control Afghani diplomacy as per our interest. The way India has done it for Nepal. See, for centuries or for at least for so many years, India was managing Nepal very well for their own interest.
No, they have lost it.
Exactly. Yeah, they have lost it. And see, there's always a curve of all the diplomatic relationship. But I think Pakistan could easily develop that kind of relationship with Afghanistan using the right cards. Could it be a religious card, social card, money card, economic
Whatever.
card, oil card, name
True.
it. Even arms trading. If there's a lot of great leftover arms, Pakistani leadership knows how to manage them. Use that aggressive young talent to their own way. And I remember there's so many Afghanis, how much they hate us, but they live here. Because no other country is going to accept them the way we are accepting them.
So finally, what is Pakistan's future in the changing world? How Pakistan can exploit the situation? Counter-terrorism we have discussed, and you said the best ways to deal with Taliban, with the cash, with the support and these things. There are international pressures also on Pakistan. Trump is putting pressure on China. Pakistan-China ties are very close. So in the changing world, next target would be definitely Iran. So where Pakistan stands, do you think Pakistan will sustain this all possible pressure in the days to come?
I think Pakistan is in the best position right now. Two reasons. The way Trump or the Trump regime is not liking India or Indian leadership these days, or Indians as general. Pakistan used that opportunity, the new level of hatred or new level of uneasiness towards India, Americans' uneasiness towards India. Pakistani could become easily an alternative.
But their joint statement was in favor of India. Indian-American joint statement.
Yeah, so what? But see, when you go, the way their visas have been cancelled, they realize, see, Americans or the white Americans, let's take it very precisely, the exactly what Trump represent over there, they don't want brown leadership to come over there. And the brown leadership means the Indian leadership. Indian leadership mainly means Hindu leadership. Hindu leadership is not approved by Jew leadership and the American leadership. So if there's a little bit discomfort, there's a little bit, if you see a discomfort over there, a smart diplomacy from Pakistan would be to use this opportunity and manipulate the situation for our own favor. Similarly, Iran needs Pakistan more to manage, USA need Pakistan more to manage Iran as compared to Saudi Arab, only because of the geographical proximity.
And more influence. Exactly.
And more influence. So Pakistan could easily get the best of the deal while so-called managing Iran from the USA, the way we used to do it. China is not going to leave us, trust me.
It's not going to.
No.
What come may. Any Western
Yeah, because there's a lot of stakes over there. There are a lot of stakes over there. So it's not a good business deal. You cannot leave the building in a grey structure. So there's a lot of stakes over here. So China is not going anywhere. What I'm very curious to see that how Pakistan is going to use the Chinese goodwill for our own favor, and that I have not been able to see it.
Chinese goodwill in Pakistan's favor in the changing world.
Yeah, exactly. So if let's take an hypothesis. If Pakistan started managing Afghanistan, hypothetically, Chinese investment would be much larger and bigger in Afghanistan and Pakistan both. So the great corridor would easily establish over there. So China see a lot of potential. They are great businessmen, but
they're not going to leave Pakistan.
They're not. It's like Pakistan for them is like those retirement bonds that you buy them and keep them and wait for the right time to use it. But it makes me so impatient. I see Pakistan is in the best position right now. The best we could easily in a very politely and very smartly can sweep in the situation in our. It was a great PR. Thank you, Pakistan. It's just a PR, lip servicing. But it could make a great what I was watching, a great Netflix series about the Pakistan heroeship over there. So that kind of a thing, Pakistan could do it very easily. And Pakistan, great IT minds. Okay, they can tell USA, Americans, okay, you want to get rid of Indians, or you're so scared of the, the brown leadership of
True.
brown or Hindu things. Okay, no worry. Our boys or girls are going to take care of these roles. Get rid of them. It's okay. We'll take care of it. So there's so many things that Pakistan could easily play over there. And yeah, it's the leadership that needs to. We are right now in the position rather than we could easily change our position, completely change, shift the table, and become the giver rather than the taker.
But how we can overcome this menace of this very, very serious terrorism, which has become a huge challenge for Pakistan. So it is weakening our diplomacy, it is weakening our economy, it is creating a negative perception.
Manage Afghanistan.
Manage Afghanistan.
Manage Afghanistan. Manage Afghani people. By hook and crook, by carrot and stick.
Carrot and stick.
Yeah,
Carrot
both.
and stick is the only solution that we have to manage Afghanistan if Pakistan wish to see a stable and a peaceful state. And if we talk about rapidly taking international developments, Pakistan is in the best position. Thank you so much, Amna
Thank you so
Khaishgi,
much.
that despite your very busy schedule, you participated in our program and answered some of the most curious and most interesting issues, particularly Ukraine, Middle East, Gaza, Iran, Afghanistan, and many more things. Thank you once again. And dear viewers, till our next program, goodbye and Allah Hafiz.